Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Stardom Review, a now weekly review where Andre and myself review the amazing all-women's wrestling company in Japan known as Stardom. I am your co-host, Melball. Over there is Andre. Andre, how you doing today?
My jaw hurts like a mug.
I swear I didn't do it.
I've had dental work two times in the last 4 days. Like the first stuff's fine. It's just today's. They stretch my jaw out in the back, at least in the back part. It's just sore. It's gonna be fine in the morning, but yeah, I'm not gonna lead this show as I usually do. Mel is going to take over running everything through it. I'm gonna be Mel today. I'm
Little
gonna just
after shout out. You get Melball's narrative today.
Yeah. I'm doing. Otherwise, I'm doing great. I've watched some great Stardom. They're just. Like we watched the December 10th and 11th show. I know the 17th show came out today as a recording date, but I didn't get it. You've only watched part of it, and I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet. But we're going to be checking out the 10th and 11th show.
And these shows were pretty awesome. They gave me a very distinct NJPW vibe to myself, just because of all the multi-person tag matches that they had. So let's get into it. I'll start us off here, Andre. We got December 10th. Match 1 was a singles match between the amazing Lady C, representing Queen's Quest, and Tomoka Inaba, representing God's Eye. This was a fun match. Lady C has become notorious for teasing people at the beginning of this her matches, with her height. Always doing the reach up. I mean, she's heads and tails above everyone else. Some of us would have to stand on each other's shoulders to reach that hand. This was a very fun match.
Pretty sure I would.
I think I would have to stand on your shoulders. But yeah, Inaba super strong with her kicks. I definitely felt that this was a showcase for her, and in the end Inaba was able to pick up that pin over Lady C after some of those ruthless kicks. Andre, what did you think of this guy?
I thought great little match. This is right off the hop. I had a little criticism of the show in its entirety. Was the camera. One camera was fine, color was great. The other one, the white balancing was completely messed up, and it was throwing me off because it would switch from the bright, colorful color of the one camera, then it would go to like this weird, darker with almost a green hue, and it bothered me for the entire night. Don't get me wrong, but like, and again, it didn't take away from this awesome match, but it just pulled me in. Inaba getting the triangle choke at the start or pulling her in when Lady C went to grab either the Boston Crab or the swing. Great, and then I love that swing. Her Cesaro swing is great, but it's not quite as reckless as Risa Serra's, but no. It's more reckless than a Cesaro swing. I'll tell you that.
yes, and she is like not at least Cesaro is like, when he does release, they land in a way that is not just like looking rough. Inaba landed very rough after this one, but
it's still better than being swung into a chair by Risa Serra. That's for goddamn sure.
That is very true. So from here, we're going to move on to the second match of the night, which was a tag match between the Cosmic Angels, represented by Natsupoi and Waka, taking on the team of what did I figure out? Was it Kashima Saki and Momo Watanabe? Two of the Artists of Stardom champions, and I really do hate how the colors of the belt are different. Endlessly confusing, this Melball. I'll catch on one day.
Especially like Starlight Kids, like it's so light blue, it's almost white. So it's almost like you have a third white belt, and it just.
It's very frustrating, and like you mentioned, the camera, if the camera hues are set up differently, you really can't tell what the difference is. So Natsupoi, you mentioned before in the past videos how she was just nom-nomming all over everyone. I'm wondering, what are they feeding people in Japan that these wrestlers have to nom-nom on people in the middle of their matches?
But my question is, why is she nomming on a boot?
Right?
She's biting. She was biting the boot. Was it of
Waka
Saki?
had her in the camel clutch, and then Natsupoi got in and started nom-nomming on Momo's foot.
Yeah, and I don't like. There's no meat there, girl. It's a boot. It's a piece of leather. You're getting the skin of a cow. You're not getting. Like, you have to go through the boot to get to Momo's foot. Come on, girl. Jesus.
Very Iska. Reminded me of Iska from Suzuki-gun, R.I.P. Momo
R.I.P.
punished Waka after that whole
Mm.
thing, though, kicking the heck out of Waka. But bless her, Waka did try so hard. Very, very determined this match to try to pick up that wing for her team. And Natsupoi firmly in her corner, helping her as best she can. However, in the end, Saki was able to pin Waka, picking up a win for a Oedo tie. This was actually, I felt, a really good way to segue from that singles match into the rest of the show. Andre, how did you feel about this?
I really enjoyed this one. There was a funny spot during the entrance where Nat and Waka got up on the ropes, and then Nat kind of like falls into she like rotated through and like fell out of the rope, and you could see her like grabbing her thigh because I think she like did a little bit of like gave herself a burn on the thigh when she fell through. Yeah. She's like holding her thigh and hopping after it. It was actually quite funny to watch her fall. But there was a great spot where it was Nat and Momo wrestling in the ring, and Nat's coming at Momo, and Momo just runs up and just drop kicks her in the middle of the ring, and then runs and shotgun drop kicks her into the corner. I was so impressed by both of the drop kicks from Momo. They were absolutely phenomenal.
Momo is almost to me like not as crisp Kota Ibushi of Stardom. She's very, very precise with her strikes, very, very precise with her kicks. Not very loud. She's not very vocal. She just kind of is that, master of what she does, where she come in, she wrecks shit, and she leaves. Very, very similar to Ibushi to me.
Yeah, and then the one down on this match was the finish, and that unprettier that Kashima did. I looked really like it looked like she kind of just grabbed her and fell. It was that's my only criticism on this entire match, because it was a good match. It just and it wasn't even out of nowhere. She like set it up and then just kind of fell on her. It wasn't even like she did it with theatrics. She kind of set it up and just went backwards. It wasn't like it just, again, it's a personal feeling. Like she's a wonderful professional wrestler. It just it looked sloppy to me in a sense. So
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
So moving on to match 3 of the night was another tag match with Koguma and Momo Kohgo from Stars taking on a BMI reunion here of Natsuko Tora and Ruaka representing Oedo Tai. Man, oh man, I had more notes for this one. This was not surprising to me. Ruaka being very, very dominant in the beginning of this match, especially on Momo Kohgo. And then Tora getting in and doing the same, throwing Momo around by her hair. BMI 2000, very, very vicious. I think a little angry about their kind of shortcoming on the Goddess of Stardom tournament, and very ready for their big tournament-esque style kind of
the number one
match
contenders
coming
match,
up.
the three-way at on the 29th.
Mai Hemi and who was the other one?
I
don't remember. We'll figure it out. Koguma doing the double.
We'll have a slide for it all at the end. Don't worry.
For sure. So Koguma, very, very smart wrestler, very, very fun wrestler. And on top of being the fun, goofy little bear girl, she was able to overpower Natsuko Tora and Ruaka to set them up for the stacked double stomps on the rope that she always does.
Yep.
Momo. Yeah, always so cute. And just
I love it so much.
Momo having a fantastic comeback in the middle of the match, hitting Ruaka with a great crossbody, but Ruaka able to regain that upper hand and feed Momo a nasty-looking cannonball from Tora, and then the crossbody from Ruaka on the ropes. This really kind of slowed down the match for Momo after this point. I can't imagine that feels good, having yourself pretty much forcefully CPR'd in the middle of the ring there. Stereo takedowns by Oedo Tai. The BMI 2000 became very, very good for doing their stereo jumps, their stereo takedowns throughout the Goddess of Stardom tournament. This looks to be something that they're going to continue on going forward. I did notice, I bet you did also. Ruaka slipping on that second rope going up
On the
for her
Vader bomb,
finish, for the splash. She was able to kind of just make a joke of it and go up for the second time. I'm just basing that on the reaction of the crowd, just because they did kind of chuckle at whatever it was that she said.
I think it was just a slip. But yeah, it was just like a slip of the foot and what happened. But you feel bad for somebody, especially when it's about to be the finish. You're like, oh, your heart breaks for them because you know they've been working this entire match to that culminating point, and then when they slip on the finish, and then they have to redo it, you're just like, oh, your heart breaks for them.
But Ruaka, like I mentioned, not deterred by this, still able to follow up with that splash, and then subsequently the pin on Momo Kohgo. What I liked about it afterwards was Tora giving Ruaka shit for slipping.
I noted that. But it made more sense because Tora is the more experienced one, so her like kind of giving shit to the younger person who she's essentially mentoring and bringing along. It makes so much sense. It's like what the fuck, man? It's like screw you, but also like it's all good at the same time. You know what I mean? Like it's how it felt when she did it. Yeah, honestly, I really enjoyed this match. I really like BMI and how they approach things. Like they hit a big splash in the corner, but instead of trying to do more after, was it Ruaka just went for the pin? But and that didn't work, so she transitions into a crossface. They're not like bang, move, bang, move, bang. They don't want to hit like 6 or 7 moves in a row, or they hit 2 and then they go for a pin. It's always hit a move, try a pin, hit a move, try a pin. I like that style from them, and that it's they're always trying to get the finish. It's not about hitting more and more like other people are, and I just like the way they do it. And then that Fisherman Brainbuster by Ruaka on Momo was so good. So good.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I totally agree with you there, Andre. We're going to move on from here to the next match, which was a fun singles match between the amazing Thekla representing Donna del Mundo and Starlight Kid with that blue belt representing a Oedo Tai. What a match this was. I am just endlessly fascinated and in love with Thekla's style.
I noted that. Like the Mafia Bello gear is awesome because I loved how her and Giulia matched. But dude, this new gear that she's rocking, I don't know if it's new or old. So good.
Yeah. She has I can't I know I've seen something similar. I don't know if it's exactly the same or if there's more straps or something, but like she does have this like fun little strappy style. Then she wore the 2-piece that we can also talk about on the 11th show there. This match though, just so much fun. I love that submission that Thekla is able to pull off. I don't know what it's called. It's some crazy thing that she just gets all twisty.
Where she's like got the leg, because she's got the head and the arms all tied up.
Yeah,
it's like a modified crucifix in some way. I don't know what it is called. I've never seen her actually finish a match with it and get the name across. But it's like a modified crucifix head, like and like headlock.
Yeah, she was able to lock that on Starlight Kid pretty early in the match. Starlight Kid, ever resourceful, able to escape it fairly quickly. There was a strike for strike battle that they had fairly close to the beginning of this that I thought was very, very heavy for them. And these are kind of like, I know it's a little cliche. A lot of people hate hearing it right now, but these two girls are one of those pairings that I would love to see fight forever, because I feel like they're creative enough that they could come up with something different or unique, or could at least change up the old stuff enough to make it seem new and unique enough that you would feel you're getting a new match every single time.
Oh, very much.
Starlight, or 619 by Starlight Kid, that she did on Thekla there was absolutely amazing. Thekla also has this thing that she's been doing where she catches herself like very Andrade's and Zelina Vega style.
I noticed that. It's like my second note of the match. She holds herself in the ropes, and then as like Starlight Kid came running in to hit her, she moved out of the way and then like up kicked her in the ropes. I think it was.
Very, very smart.
Yeah,
very smart wrestling. Thekla, very almost getting that crazy looking submission again on Starlight Kid. She was able to fight out of it. In the end here, Starlight Kid was able to actually manage pinning Thekla after a ton of reversals back and forth. I actually felt that the end of this match was very exciting. So it was one of those things where it was like 1, 2, you weren't quite sure how it was going to end. I felt it was great. The confrontation afterwards, it was partially also the reason why I feel that these two are a great fight forever kind of pairing. There's always going to be a good showing of animosity because Starlight Kid is one of those people who is great at really poking all of the bears to elicit an over-the-top reaction. And Thekla herself loves giving an over-the-top reaction. Andre, what do you think about this?
I really much enjoyed it. Like it was very much the high speed style in this one, and I really enjoyed it. You pretty much hit on everything I have, except there was a spot where Thekla got a schoolboy, and she then pulls a knee bar, and then turned that into the lean back Muda lock. I just the transitions how like in the schoolboy into the knee bar, then transitioning that into the Muda lock. It was so smooth. It just. I just loved how smooth that she works. Like I find Thekla so like you were telling me before we got into the 5-star that you're gonna love Thekla, and then she was pulled out, and I was very disappointed. And then you kept telling me, oh, she's so good, and then you were telling me going into the tag team to the Goddess tournament, and I'm like, and she proves it. She keeps proving why you kept telling me Thekla is so good, and our buddy Cody saying the same thing. She is absolutely wonderful, man.
Incredible talent. I look forward to seeing her challenging Azumi for that high speed championship, hopefully very, very soon.
It might be
From
it
here,
might be it might be a different champion after the 29th. You know?
Hey, I mean, I have faith in Azumi and her ability to hang on to that belt. We're going to transition from here into the next match, which was the main, or not semi-main. Semi-main, nope. Nope, we're not even close. We got 3 more. We got another singles match here. Tam Nakano, the captain of Cosmic Angels, taking on a former Cosmic Angels apprentice in Mai Sakurai, now representing Donna Del Mondo. This match, very emotional, especially for Mai Sakurai, and I'm sure that you could pick that up very easily. Lots of chain wrestling, especially at the beginning of this. I really enjoyed it because this was not something that Mai Sakurai was very strong at when she was with the Cosmic Angels. This is something she has really gotten very adept at in her work with Donna Del Mondo. So I think it was a really great way to kind of show to her captain that she has really stepped up her game, or her former champion, or sorry, former captain. Tam really not holding back on Mai either, really letting her have it as much as possible. Some of the kicks she was feeding her, I felt were very aggressive. And something I also noted with Tam over the last couple months, especially, or sorry, couple weeks, especially since the Goddess of Stardom tournament has wrapped up, she seems to have this little bit of, I don't want to say a chip on her shoulder, but she's kind of getting this new attitude that she's almost like, she's still the cutesy little Tam Nakano that we expect, but she's almost a little sassy. Just not Gabriel Kidd sassy, but it's good. It's a good look on her because it adds a little bit of strength. And I'm not going to say credibility, but it does add a little something more to the Tam Nakano character.
Well, she's come up short in now 2 tournaments in a row because remember she lost to Giulia in the finals at the 5-star, and then getting knocked out on the final night at the Goddess to potentially go to the finals to pick their opponents, to not get that chance. I could understand why someone like Tam Nakano would have a chip on her shoulder that she's lost now in 2 major spots in 2 major tournaments so far this year. I don't know of anything before, but it's I can see why she would be getting a little bit frustrated. And now and knowing what's coming on the 29th in 7-Up, they're to me they're the underdogs going into that. So her having a chip on her shoulder makes a lot of sense.
100%, 100%. I've been noticing Mai does a lot of her most effective work on the outside of the ring as opposed to inside of it sometimes. She definitely had this in the match, taking Tam outside quite a bit. Um, when they did get back inside, the little, I called it a boot off because I didn't know what else to call it, where they
Oh,
were
they were
just
seated.
sitting down
Yeah,
and
yeah,
feeding
yeah.
each other kicks
Seems like a
to put
Tam
in
special.
the yeah, they're sitting on their butts, but they're pretty much thrust kicking each other in the face. It was very interesting, but it really did feed into the emotion behind this match. I really felt that this was a Mai Sakurai match,
Mhm.
just because it was her closing a chapter. I think on the Cosmic Angels. I think this was her way to say we're done. I'm now Donna Del Mondo.
Sort of.
I'm not saying that she's done with Cosmic Angels and that she's never going to challenge them for anything. I'm
Mhm.
saying in regards to her personal career, she's closing her chapter on her
Yeah.
involvement with Cosmic Angels and is now fully and unquestionably moving forward in her loyalties with Donna Del Mondo. There was a Northern Cross that Tam was actually able to snag Mai with, that looked really, really, really good.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, after this, I think that was right after. I didn't write down the finish on this, I realize.
The finish was it was essentially an inverted like an arm triangle choke from the back by Tam Nakano to tap Mai Sakurai
Yeah,
out.
she tapped her out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, to her credit, Tam still trying to be respectful to her former colleague and trying to be nice to Mai Sakurai after. Mai Sakurai having absolutely none of it. Got to say that was a little disappointing to
No,
see.
I'm with Mai.
However,
I'm with Mai.
hey, tomato, tomato, right?
Yeah.
Mai says expresses, thank goodness we had subtitles for some of this. Mai expresses her happiness in that she left Cosmic Angels, and Tam responds to not speak like that until Mai Sakurai has defeated Tam Nakano,
Mhm.
which Mai seems to respect and say that she goes on to say that she has experienced things that she never could in the Cosmic Angels with Donna Del Mondo, and she praises the teachings of all of her stablemates and looks forward to her continued work with them. So that was also
I love
another
that.
reason why I felt this was a chapter close for her.
I very much love that. Yeah. I thought great
Hmm.
match overall. You pretty much hit on everything I wanted to talk about. Just great overall match. Tam, I'm
Hmm.
always a huge fan, and I'm becoming more of a fan of Mai Sakurai every time I get to watch her wrestle. I
Hmm.
think watching her the in the Goddess tournament, I think was a bit of a detractor for me because they were constantly losing and they were always
Hmm.
come from underneath. And so watching her here, kind of almost like yes, losing the Tam, but still that really good flow between two of them. I was really
Hmm.
impressed with my Sakurai.
100%, 100%. So from here, we're going to go into the sixth match and now the semi-main of the night, which is going to be a six-person tag match between Saya Iida, Hazuki, and Mayu Iwatani representing Stars against Queen's Quest, the team of Utami Hayashishita, Saya Kamitani, and Azumi. Um, this match was fun. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed the starting with Utami and Iida, where there was a bit of a power struggle. And bless her heart, Iida always tries so hard to really show her power. Utami, though, is a very much a tank in her own respect. She really did outpower Iida for a lot of their time together. When they did tag out, Azumi and Hazuki took over the match, and man, did that change the pace of the match. I love how switching out the characters, or sorry, people within the Stardom kind of locker room almost instantaneously changes the styling of the match. We went from like a big power and strike fest with Iida and Utami to now this high speed strikery and submissionness of Azumi and Hazuki. Oh, this was fun. Hazuki and Azumi have some really great in ring chemistry. I really enjoy watching the two of them together because they just they almost like seem to bring out emotion in each other. They both get very into whatever it is that they're doing. I really appreciate that when I see that with a pair of workers. Kamitani and Hazuki also working very, very well together. I wouldn't mind seeing Hazuki challenge maybe for that title one day. That would be something to see. um, the Utami and Mayu getting into the ring, they really kicked up the pace of this match. Their champion. Why do I keep calling the captains the champions? Whew, I've got a weird autocorrect going in my brain today.
because there's not a champion captain on either team, because technically the captain
Right?
is the non-champion on one team, and Mayu doesn't have a belt anymore.
Yeah. Goodness. Focus, Melball. But Mayu and Itami really kicked up this match. These girls put in power for power. Iwatani, again with this reckless disregard for her personal health and safety. I have to say though, it does always add to the entertainment, level of her matches, and it really makes her opponents work so hard to not drop her or kill her.
Mm-hmm.
The thrust kick that Iwatani was able to pull off on Utami, though, was absolutely unreal. It stopped Utami in her tracks. She sold it so well. But she kicked her so hard that Iwatani turned herself inside out. It was so cool. I really enjoyed that spot. There was a chop off between Iida and Azumi that I was shocked that Iida actually came off on bottom side of. I was
no. Iida ended up getting her speed chops in the end of that.
Yeah, but she ended up getting over. Yeah, well, we'll give her that. Yes, I do like the machine gun.
She won the chop battle part, but then
she won the chop battle, just not the war on that one. Something I noted: both teams working so super well together, really showing that team camaraderie. Whenever all three would get into the ring, all of their moves were very reminiscent of LIJ, very imperfectly perfect and organic in their own perfect way. They lined up so amazingly. I loved seeing each one get in there. In the end, though, the magic killer by Kamitani and Utami, with Azumi following up with that diving double stomp, or the coup de grace, as people who are fans of Finn Balor know, to pin Iida for the win on Queen's Quest. Man, Andre, what did you think of this one? This was fun.
Dude, this was there was so much happening in this match. I took a bunch of notes because there's always so much happening.
Excellent.
And like, I just absolutely phenomenal. My like Utami's angle slam, dude, it's absolutely perfect. It's so good. And then I'm sorry, there was just one other thing I kind of lost it in here. There was Azumi did this really like almost acrobatic roll to get Iida into the Rings of Saturn, that Iida reversed into a pin for 2. Like it was really good. I really liked how everybody worked together in this match. But the finish I thought great. Kamitani Utami hitting that magic killer onto Iida, and Azumi getting the stomp off the top. It looked really good.
They worked very, very well together. Very fun match. So from here, we're going to go into the main event of the evening, another 6-person tag match. This was so much fun. We have Mirai, Ami Sohrei, and Syuri representing God's Eye, and we have Giulia, Himeka, and Maika representing Donna del Mondo. This was so fun. The tension between Syuri and Giulia right now is just palatable. You can feel it. Yeah, we're not even in the building. We can feel it here in Canada. It is incredible. Syuri, I had mentioned in videos before that I'm noticing, especially at the end of the Goddess of Stardom tournament, very vicious streak she's starting to go on. I feel that is maybe in preparation for her face off with Giulia. Who knows? But she just seems very angry, and she is taking it out on whoever unfortunately happens to be on the opposite side of the ring from her. Her kicks are incredible, and something I also know, she's usually very animated in the face, very very similar to like Kamitani, how she's almost over animated with her expressions. Syuri has really not been over animated since the Goddess of Stardom tournament ended. Very very serious, very angry, very almost furrowed in the brow. I think the only time that I saw her a little overexpressive was in that crossover, the historic crossover show when she was teaming with Lawler.
Yeah, but I think she was feeding off of his very
Yeah, it's
big
hard not
personality.
to. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, since this, she's been very, very serious, very vicious, very mean streak she's had. Mirai and Ami both got those wicked, wicked chops. I can't remember who they were doing it on. I want to say it was Maika, but they were getting wicked, wicked loud, loud, loud chops. These girls, they know how to tenderize them
Yeah, I
titties.
think it was on Maika because I remember I noted this somewhere near like the chops on Maika were crazy loud.
Yeah, very, very loud. Very loud. Lots of tenderizing. Himika strong arming her way through everyone at one point. She does really, really good run throughs for double teams and stuff like that. Very, very strong. I feel like the Jumbo Princess name is appropriate because she's just so gosh darn cute. You wouldn't think that she would be willing and able to just punch you in the face, yet here we are. Sorry, locking up a sharpshooter. Again, I can't remember who she did that on. I didn't know who she locked it on. I want to say it might have been Maika again.
No, that wasn't that the spot that her and Giulia were trading submissions.
Yeah, I was gonna say Giulia returning the favor, so
Yeah,
it must have been when they were reversing. Yeah.
yeah, because she applied like Syuri applies a sharpshooter, and then Giulia reversed it into her own sharpshooter, and then Syuri reversed it into like a knee bar, and then Giulia got her own knee bar on at the same time, and they were going back and forth with the submissions there. Yeah. Yeah, they were fighting for submission dominance from the sharpshooter. Oh, it was sharpshooter into it was a sharpshooter from Syuri to a sharpshooter from Giulia to an STF from Syuri to an STF from Giulia, then into the knee bars.
Really a battle of anything you can do, I can do better. Anything I can
Pretty
do.
much. And that's true. Giulia did it all better because she was the one in the end pulling that knee bar and making Syuri grab the rope. So Giulia's better.
It was. And Giulia pinning Ami Sohrei after a glorious driver to end the main event. This was a fun match. And there was a lot of banter with mercifully subtitles happening throughout this entire match between Syuri and Giulia, which I really appreciated seeing. This was a lot of fun, Andre. What do you think?
I had a great time. Like I'll admit I'm not the biggest fan of God's Eye itself because I'm not the biggest fan of Syuri. And it's nothing against her. I just her character and stuff I haven't really been able to really sink myself into as much. Like so I think that affects my entire look at God's Eye as a whole. Where I look at Amy and Mirai, they're great wrestlers. I think all three are great wrestlers. I just where for me, I'm such a huge fan of Giulia, so I've become such a huge fan of the rest of Donna Del Mundo, and so I look at them and I'm not I don't know, it's just a personal feeling, I guess. But it's a great match overall by all the women. They all did such a wonderful job. You got through pretty much everything. There was Ami got this a spinning Samoan drop to Giulia, and then followed up right away with a Blue Thunder bomb, and then all the women just smashing into each other, and with Syuri and Giulia in the end just kicking each other in the head, and then all six of them are just laid out in the ring. Absolutely phenomenal. And then I got to give a shout out to the gear in this match, especially with Giulia. Her red and black gear looks so. I literally wrote love the red gear on Giulia, and then Syuri. Going back from the pants, going back to the shorts, and then doing the purple with red looked really, really good. I really liked the colors, and then Maika's gear every time. Come on, she's a samurai, man. It always looks so good.
I
Yeah,
mean, Maika
overall,
to me can
wonderful
do no
match.
wrong.
Yeah.
Little girl crush on Maika, not gonna lie. She got wrecked a lot in that match too. She took a
Yeah.
lot of punishment in that one, but she kept getting back up. It's the
Yeah.
samurai way, right?
So before we move on to the next night of the cards we're going to talk about, I want to give a big shout out to Rogue Energy, our sponsors. Down the bottom right corner there, you can see the QR code. Scan that; it'll take you to rogueenergy.com. Use the code OLEPODS for 10% off your order, or go to rogueenergy.com. Same thing, and check it out. I did not bring my water bottle down. I do not have my Mina Shaker Kawa with me, but soon enough, we'll be able to see Mina again. Thank you. But yeah, and check them out. They have great products. If you're in the United States, they have cans now you can order. So don't even have to mix it up. But dude, there's you get the shaker and you get 6 samples with it. Absolutely wonderful. Everyone I've tasted so far has tasted absolutely wonderful. So please check them out and support them.
100% give them a check out. So from here, we're going to move into the December 11th show with match 1 being a singles match between Tomoka Inaba representing God's Eye and Waka Tsukiyama representing Cosmic Angels. And I'm noticing a trend here,
Tsukiyama. It just makes
we are not going to have this conversation. Oh, you brought out Svetlana. Ugh. We're going to get back on track there. So I'm noticing, as I was saying, I'm noticing a trend here of Inaba is starting to be the Kevin Knight and Kushida of the Stardom roster right now. And I think it's tremendous. I feel it's a really good way to finally kind of introduce us to Inaba and show us what it is that she's capable of. Because I do feel she did very, very well with the Goddess of Stardom tournament, but I don't feel that we got a really great taste of who she is. I feel we got a taste of who she is with Syuri. I want to see who she is on her own and why she has been on such a roll and why she's, the Just Tap Out champion. So I definitely felt that this was a fun match. I felt that she gave Waka a lot at the beginning of this one, though. Waka doing very, very well. Very, very passionate wrestler. I absolutely love her. Like, look at that smile. You can't help but just love her and how cute she is. And she comes out doing the punches. It's like, but you're the cutest little thing. What are you gonna do with those? She is truly adorable. Inaba, though, once Waka kind of got her stuff out of the way, Inaba very dominant for the end of this match. Again, her kicks are absolutely wicked. I definitely feel that this, again, was a showcase for Inaba the last 2 shows. And Inaba able to pick up that pin on Waka after a bunch of kicks. Why the kicks?
I absolutely is, but I got one criticism on Inaba though.
What's that?
Her punches are not good.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. When she dropped into that straight punch to the guy, it looked like she went just like it and then Waka sold it like, oh, I just got destroyed. But the punch looked like it completely looked like she pulled it, and it didn't even look like it had speed on it when she punched it. And then she did another one where she punched her kind of right hooked her in the gut, and it was just like her kicks are amazing. It's the punches, and then one criticism on her final kick where she hits the rope and comes back, then stops and then throws the kick. You don't need to run the ropes there. Just stand up, kick her in the face, and then pin her. The running part, it screws me up when she does the run and then stops and then throws the kick, because the run is almost to get speed to hit like a penalty kick or something, not to run to stop to then set up a kick. It almost seems weird to me. But she's awesome, but it's just weird.
Was Waka ready for the kick? Because I feel like she might have not.
But it happened the night before too. She hit the ropes, came back, stopped, and then swung the kick. And it just you really don't need the off the ropes if you're going to stop and swing the kick. It's a personal feeling. Nothing against what she's doing. It's an effective move. It looks odd to me as a viewer.
That's fair. That's fair. So moving on to match 2. Match 2 of the night was a tag match between Lady C and
There it
Utami
is.
Hayashishita of Queen's Quest, taking on Koguma and Momo Kohgo. I just love saying her name, Momo Kohgo, of Stars.
Mhm.
Huh.
Right.
I love Koguma. Just her little goofiness with the ears is absolutely adorable. Running around the building though, I was kind of like, girl, where are you going? Really
Hey,
making Lady C work.
Lady C
And
got tired out quickly, and that's
yeah,
surprising for a
Koguma did
girl like
not.
her. Yeah, so I was very surprised with that.
Yeah, very, very interesting. It was funny though that Utami hid around the corner though and psyched out Koguma. Luckily, though, Koguma was able to escape and not take the hit from Lady C, but Lady C was also mercifully able to stop before hitting her captain, which I appreciate. Um, Momo and Koguma, I'm noticing in this match, work very, very well together as a pairing. I feel almost as good as Koguma and Hazuki work together. They flowed very, very well together. Their moves worked really, really well together. That spin from Lady C, though, really mucks anyone's day up. And when you pick someone up as little as Momo Kogo, you know you're going to get a lot of speed and velocity on that one. And she did not disappoint with that spin. Momo got some good speed and got dropped on her head for her problems. Utami also not being very nice to Momo, throwing her around quite a bit when she got into the ring. But Koguma able to outsmart Lady C and Utami, stacking them up just like she did with Natsuko Tora and Ruaka the night before, getting that cute little double stomp on
But she
there.
put Momo on her back. That was the biggest spot. She had Momo on her back for this one.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Utami, though, able to pick up the pin on Momo Kogo after a torture rack bomb. Utami is just a tank. I mean, she was the real, powerhouse in this match, and she is also my personal favorite. I'm not surprised she was able to pick up the win on this. Andre, how do you feel about this one?
I had a great time watching it. I'm since I first started watching the 5-star, I fell for Momo Kogo. I think she's absolutely so much fun to watch wrestle, and every time I get to see her in a match, I think she's a real highlight for me personally. And then like getting her going toe to toe with Utami is Hayashishita is absolutely phenomenal. To see a girl who's just so early in her career versus a veteran, and like just like the different levels and how they work together, it's absolutely phenomenal. There was that spot where Utami did the backdrop with Lady C doing like the rock bottom at the same time.
Yeah.
I love that double team. It's inventive as hell because like I haven't seen somebody do something quite like that. I actually really really like that. And Momo almost getting Utami there at the end with that roll up, but then Utami turned it into her torture rack bomb. But Momo, like it was like a 2.9. Like the ref was like right here when Utami kicked out. Like just just that millisecond more, it would have been an upset. It would have been a mess up, I think. But the fact that like they cut it that close, I was like, holy crap! I thought Momo was getting the roll up there. I was like, are you giving her this huge win on somebody who's about to go face Kyrie? Like, oh my god, yeah. But absolutely phenomenal match.
It's very true. And something I've noticed with some of the refs, I don't know if you've noticed it also, in NJPW, they will continue with that potential 3. With Stardom, some of the refs will hover that third thing if they don't think maybe that the person is capable of kicking out in the right time period or something.
Yeah, and that has bothered me a couple times. This time it didn't feel like that this time. Like the ref was coming down.
Utami. She's very experienced woman in that ring. She knows what she's doing.
And from personal experience on Independent for Wrestling, just count your 3. If somebody doesn't kick out, it's their fault, not the refs, because the ref is just doing his job. If it's messed up, because I've seen refs halt a count mid count on the 3 because they know what the finish is supposed to be, and it can completely screw up a match completely.
Yeah, that is true. So moving on to match 3 of the night. This was a tag match with Natsupoi and Tam Nakano, a Meltier reunion here, representing the Cosmic Angels, taking on the Golden Phoenix, Saya Kamitani, and Azumi representing Queen's Quest.
Everybody's got a belt.
Everybody, yeah, all the belts, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Reluctant handshake at the beginning, I really appreciated seeing. I wasn't expecting it out of Azumi. I'm not gonna lie. Kamitani, I could see it happening. I'm very pleasantly surprised that it happened. Azumi and Natsupoi starting off this match with a great high-speed sequence. What I loved about this spot was that they did their bit. It was very similar to that cruiserweight kind of quick start opening sequence, if that's something that you guys are interested in. What I loved about it was the crowd. Obviously, like the crowds are different from here to Japan. They appreciate the sequence. They start clapping, and Azumi goes to the referee and proclaims herself the winner of that particular sequence, and the crowd not disagreeing and the ref not disagreeing either.
Well, especially when they both did the flip and Nat kind of fell backwards. That was kind of the official win for Azumi there.
Exactly. And Natsupoi absolutely took that personally. She had her little fit about it in the corner. It was adorable. Tam and Natsupoi doing their cartwheels with the double team on Kamitani. I absolutely love that. It just is something you can see, just the experience that these girls have to be able to add that cute little thing of flair, and that a cartwheel is their flair is something that I really, really appreciate, because it doesn't take away from them. These girls might look like space fairies, but they're still going to knock your head off. There was at one point where Kamitani looked a little ridiculous, and this is where I've been critical in the past of her and her over animation. There was one point where she was waiting for those cartwheels to happen, and instead of just kind of sitting there groggy like she could have been, she was kind of doing those big circles with her arms, kind of had this like big wide-eyed expression on her face, and looked very comparable to a blow-up doll. The sound I imagined coming out of her mouth was Mario going, "Wow!" Like, that's just what it looked like. It looked really ridiculous. But again, it's almost like she kind of almost reaches that point and goes, "Oh crap," and brings it back down to where it's supposed to be. She didn't do that again throughout the entirety of the match. I don't know if it's just because she was tired, but like that kind of stuff is, for me, is what takes away from some of the realism of this. And it's not like these girls are beating the holy heck out of each other. It should at no point look like an anime to me, in the respect that anything more than their outfits. You know what I'm saying? Like, the outfits definitely should look over the top, and I love that, but that face was just not right for that moment in the match. For moving on from here, I really feel Azumi and Tam had a great chemistry in this match. I felt that the time that they were in the ring, they utilized it very, very well. Looked very, very good together. Before Tam tagged in Natsupoi, the double kicks to Azumi and Kamitani from Natsupoi were flawless. Looked absolutely perfect. The arm drag that Azumi does from that top rope is picture perfect every single time. I absolutely love it. She managed to pull it off on Natsupoi in this match. There was just a lot of great back and forth between these guys. Andre, I'm going to keep going and going because I have so many notes I want you to put into this. What did you think of it?
I thought it was absolutely so much fun. There was a spot where Nat and Azumi were exchanging like victory rolls, and it almost made me, because they kept rolling back and forth, it made me think they wanted to do the Yo Leo roll. That's all I could think when they were going back and forth like that. I was thinking, it's almost like that Yo Leo roll, dude. I was just like, oh, that's all I could think when they were doing that. But dude, just there was a spot where Azumi does a sunset flip and then hits a knee, and then sunset flips are over, and then rolls back to have like Tam on top of her, almost pinning her. And this is and where Saya comes in and hits that knee strike to Tam's face, and then Zumi rolls up for a 2. Mwah, mwah.
But the end of this match shockingly coming at a time limit draw. These girls kicked the holy heck out of each other. There was literally one point near the end where I wrote kicks for everyone and everyone's down. This was an incredible match, and I love that Stardom is willing to do these random matches where there's legitimate countouts or legitimate disqualifications or time limit draws. I feel it adds to the excitement of the show. And actually, I looked at this match and I was like, who could potentially take the pin in this and still come
That's
out
what I was wondering.
strong? They answered that question, all of them. All of them and none of them.
I love the finish of this with Saya hitting the spin kick on Tam and hitting the fisherman driver, but not breaking up the pin. So she pulls her toward the corner, and then she Saya goes up to hit her Firebird splash, and then Tam snap marrying her almost off the top, and then starts beating on her, and then the bell's going at the same time, and that's where Tam tries like a tiger suplex to get a bridging tiger suplex, I was absolutely okay with the end of it. I was noticing here.
100%. Great way to end the match. So we're going to move on to the fourth match of the evening. I believe this was a semi-main, a 6-person tag match between Mirai, Sohrei, and Syuri. God's Eye taking on the team of Hazuki, Mayu Iwatani, and Saya Iida representing the Stars. Where to start on this one? Ami and Hazuki starting off the match, and this was a power-heavy, intense striking part of the match. I really, really enjoyed it. Very, very heavy hitting, very, very intense, very impactful was what I wrote down as a note for that. Iida getting in and feeding Ami some wicked chops to the point where Ami actually buckled a couple times. We don't really see that out of Ami, so that's speaking to the mighty power that is Saya Iida. The body slam that Iida got hit with by Ami before tagging in Mirai, psyching out Iida. That was what I'm going into. Mirai psyching Iida, making her think she was going to go with the dominant right arm chop and catching her with the left instead and forcing Iida to take a full bump. Whew. That shocked me. I've never seen Mirai do that, and it made me kind of like pause the match and be like, well, what did I just see?
There was a spot right in there where, I think right after she put her in the corner and she started chopping her in the corner, and then she starts dragging her towards the corner, and Iida's hopping, and every time she got chopped, she was doing little hops, taking the chops from Mirai. I loved the way that she was hopping when she was being pulled. This reacting to how hurt her chest was. She's and hopping. I love the sell on that. It was absolutely phenomenal.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is the show where she actually posted the picture afterward, where she actually had pulled down the straps and showed the welts on her chest from these chops. This is no joke. They're tenderizing them titties, and some of them are getting too tenderized, let me tell you. Syuri, again, looking very vicious, but also I noted very lean. She looks very, very... like she's lost a little bit of weight in the last little bit, and to kind of tighten up. And again, maybe it is in response to her match with Giulia coming up. Very much looking forward to it. And again, seems very angry, super vicious with her kicks. And the kicks she was feeding to Iida looked super, super rough, super, super heavy. When Mayu got in, she definitely took some shots, I think, at Syuri for that. She looked a little bit more wild than normal. And hey, good for her, captain taking care of her team, right? The stereo face wipes and the running kicks from Stars on the members of God's Eye was something I always like. It's something that's kind of become a signature or a staple of them. I very much so like it. There was a backcracker, I think it was, by Syuri that she did on by Syuri on Mayu. That looked really not awesome. Looks like she caught her a little bit higher than maybe she should have. And then a code breaker by Hazuki on Mirai was amazing before transitioning into the crossface. I absolutely love how capable these women are with these transitions. I could go on and on. The last thing I want to actually say is that I actually really enjoyed watching Hazuki and Mirai getting into the ring and really getting into it with each other. The clothesline that Mirai was able to rock Hazuki with, though, was unfreaking real. She pretty much not only turned Hazuki inside out, she threw herself pretty much out of the ring almost. Super, super powerful. Andre, what do you think of this one?
I actually had a great time watching this. And again, I'm a really big Iida fan. Like, you know, my love for Iida. There was this like awesome spine buster that Iida hit early on in the match with Syuri, where she just picked her up and just cranked her down with that spine buster. Looked so good. And then there was a spot where Hazuki hit the MX to Mirai, and then it was just spot on. And then she got her in the pin. And then as soon as Mirai kicked out of the pin, she immediately pulled her over into the crossface. Like, it just, the transitions there were, again, so smooth. You see these girls do such smooth transitions, man. Sorry, there's another spot I want to talk about in here. The spot, or little Saida standing up to Amy Sakurai and fighting back and like fighting through the chops, even though Amy ended up getting the speed chops. Saya hitting off the rope and coming and hitting that big double chop, like getting the upper hand at the end. Like you were saying, in the last match, it was the other way. For her, she lost the chop battle, but she won the war by putting her down and got the splash. And then she gets a dragon sleeper on Amy, but Amy got to the ropes really quick. I really thought it was a great little spot to show Iida's really be able to stand up to the power of the biggest woman in the match in Amy Sakurai. But the end of this match came with the spinning brainbuster by Amy Sakurai to Iida to get the win. Yeah,
I really enjoyed that finish too. I felt that I wasn't expecting it. I think that's why I enjoyed it. I wasn't quite expecting it.
I was expecting Iida to be the one to take the pinfall in this match, because I was looking at everybody here. Who's gonna take the pinfall? It's probably gonna be Iida. Sadly.
As we start to watch these shows more, it's almost like NJPW, where within the factions, when you start to see a match come together, you can be like,
Gato.
well, Gato, Jado, sadly, most times Doki,
Taka,
Bushi, there's all those guys that are just the guys who, if they're fighting with a heavyweight, they're gonna lose to the heavyweight. And you're right. I did honestly think the same thing when I saw this. Was like, I love Iida, but I know she's probably taking the pin in that. So from here, we're actually going to move into the main event, which was an amazing 10-person match. And this featured Himika, Maika, Thekla, Mai Sakurai, and Giulia from Donna del Mondo taking on the evil cloud of darkness that looms over the Stardom locker room. That is Ruaka, Natsuko Tora, Starlight Kid, Momo Watanabe, and Kashima Saki from Oedo Tai. This was fun. Just the random first note is I want an Oedo Tai sweater so bad. I wish they were not $80. So ridiculous.
I
but I want one so bad.
I will never let you wear that on this show. No, you can never wear that on the show. But I will say this: the entrance for Donna del Mondo, the air of confidence that all five women have are absolutely phenomenal. Well, four, because Himika does not come out with the same air of confidence. She comes out with pure happiness, waving at everybody. And I love how she stands out from the other four members. Is that she's so happy, like where all the others like. They're like, how this like air of like, I'm better than you, and
Giulia can only see half of them, right?
And Himika's just like hi and happy. And I love the difference in how they come out, and like the four of them are so, and then Himika's just like I'm so happy. I love it.
That's true. That's true. I also want to point out, I just love Thekla's style. Again, a completely different style from the night before. And Maika's new robe with the red feather boa hanging off the shoulder is something that I absolutely love. But getting into the match, Thekla and Starlight Kid starting off with a great high-speed sequence in the beginning here, coming off of their match the night before. Probably still a lot of emotions for them. I felt that it was a really, really fun way to start off the match. I like how they start off on a high note, usually with the high-speed champion or high-speed people kind of in there. It really sets up the pace for the rest of the match. My taking on Momo Watanabe, I didn't think that that was maybe the smartest choice she'd made, but she's made worse choices, and there were certainly scarier people for her to take on in that. And I think Momo and her actually had a pretty good interaction. The tie-up and faction photo op that Donna Del Mondo was able to do, I would say, is the definition of a cruel irony. Because that's usually what they're doing, isn't it? Imposing someone on the ropes. So I really enjoyed seeing that. Had a lot of fun with it. Chaos everywhere, though, as everything just kind of spills out into the outside here, there, and everywhere. The announcer, I had to chuckle so many times because there was one point where I got up to go stir my dinner while I was watching this, and all I could hear is step to the side, just for a few minutes, just that poor announcer. That was fun. I thought that was a good time. I really enjoyed the Mafia Bella reunion in the ring where Thekla and Giulia started getting in there. Abruptly stopped by a BMI 2000 reunion. I love that we can see these teams get together and have these little face-offs. Different teams, I think, ending up meeting later because I believe it's Himeka and Maika going to be in that triple threat. Tora and Maika. Whew, these ladies kicked the holy heck out of each other for this match. Again, love Maika. She's super, super strong, doing everything she can to give it to Tora. Tora, again, super strong in her own right, really able to withstand everything that Maika was giving to her. There was, Mai Hemi reuniting and taking out BMI 2000, allowing Maika to get that suplex on Tora that she was struggling to catch. Really, really love seeing that. The craziest part of the match for me,
I thought it was a brain buster almost.
I wrote down suplex. It might have been a brain buster. I mean,
I've
been watching Tenzon too much that I don't know the difference. That's a lie. We haven't seen Tenzon for a while. The crazy part of the match for me was where everyone was popping off everything they had. It was a very New Japan feeling part of those big tag matches where it's like, he pops off this, then he pops off this, then he pops off this. And it's like all different people popping off different stuff at the same time. It was very, very fun because you get to get used to whatever it is that all of these women do. And we're still learning what all of their kind of signatures and what they like to do is. So I really enjoyed this part of the match. Saki pinning Mai Sakurai with the move that I had to pause, rewatch, rewind to watch the spelling of this.
The Kishi Kaisei. I think it's called the Kishi Kaisei.
Kishi Kaisei.
Kishi. I thought it was Kishki.
It's Kishi. Yeah, it's Kishi Kaisei, I think is how it's said. Kishi Kaisei. Fun. Yeah, it was fun.
It's like she's hit it multiple times to surprise win on a lot of people.
Yes. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things that she does. As soon as I see her like do it, I'm like, yeah, it's done. That's the end of the match. At the end of the match, Tora calling out Mai Hemi and really trying to batter their confidence going into this triple threat match for the number one contendership for Meltier's Goddess of Stardom tag titles. Mai Hemi not backing down, though. Himika taking the microphone and telling her, "We are not backing down. We are going to do what we do best. We're going to wreck your day," essentially, in a nice way. Of course, Himika, you said before, she is just so super cute. It's so hard sometimes to like be intimidated by her. But again, she earned that Jumbo Princess name for a reason. She's knocking people's heads off and not taking any apologies. Um, what I really, really enjoyed at the end of it was Starlight Kid. Again, I call her like a parrot. She's kind of squawking at everybody, squawking at Giulia as she's walking out. Give a
Calling her
message.
Junior. Calling her
Yeah.
Junior. Yeah. That one
Yeah,
was
give
weird.
a message to whoever, and Giulia pretty much telling Starlight Kid to go F herself. It was really amusing, a really fun way to end the night. Andre, how'd you feel about this one?
I absolutely had a fun time. Again, it was pure chaos. I don't have much for notes in the match because you went over the biggest spots. Just pure chaos. There was a great spot where Starlight Kid did a dive to the outside onto pretty much everybody in the match. Her team, the opponents. It was crazy. But yeah, just overall, just a fun main event. Getting to see all these awesome women wrestle. But the best part for me was post match when SLK had Starlight Kid had the mic. She announced that the Artist of Stardom tag team title match, that's going to be a hardcore rules match. Let's go prominence, baby. Let's go prominence.
Let's go prominence. Let's go Suzuki.
And then Starlight Kid said she's taking off Suzuki's head. She did make that comment. But then the best line of it all was when Saki got the mic, she went, "Later, nerds," and that's it.
I mean, yeah, I forgot to write that down. Yeah, that was a very fun part of that match. What a show these two shows were to follow up the Goddess of Stardom Championship tournament. Oh, and now we're gonna go into this incredible show.
One more quick preview before we go. It's our last probably our last Stardom show before we review this. So, I have the wrong tab there. And that's one. And it is the Stardom Dream Queendom Show 2022. Mel had to do some editing last time because I had the wrong banner at the start on the last show. Because I got to
don't even know it's there.
Yeah. I got to pull the match list up. I apologize. I don't want to mess anything up as I read it. Where the heck did it go? There it is. I found it. I'm not crazy. So the first match of the night is going to be Mina Shirakawa teaming up with Unagi Sayaka, the Cosmic Angels, taking on Donald Dalmato's Mai Sakurai and Thekla. I think this will be a really fun match to start the show off.
100%.
Yeah, and the return of Mina Shirakawa. That's the biggest thing for me personally.
And Unagi Sayaka, she's been a little absent here and there too. Yeah,
very much so. And then your second match of the evening, 6-woman tag team match, Stars, Mayu Iwatani, Momo, Kohgo, and Hanan taking on Stars, Hazuki, Koguma, and Iida. The Battle of the Stars, baby.
Hey, look at the shoulders on Iida there. Whew. Shoulder boulders. I want those. This will be a fun little match. I think there's going to be a lot of goofiness in this one.
Yeah, I think it looks like a lot of fun here. I'm looking forward to the funness and it's to like really help hype the crowd because the next match I think is a really big for your future of the like what's going next in your tag team division, and it could be, you never know who they might be facing, but you have a 3-way number 1 contenders match between the new eras, Mirai and Amy Sohrei, Mai Hemi's Maika and Himeka, and BMI 2000's Natsuko Tora and Ruaka.
I mean, the only powerhouse team that you're missing from here is essentially 7-Up. You literally have
they're in the main
powerhouse tag teams.
And they're in the tag team title match, so that's already set there. So
yeah.
But one of these teams might end up facing 7-Up or Meltier. You don't know who. It's gonna be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have fourth match of the evening, Utami Hayashishita taking on Kairi in a special singles match. This can be absolutely phenomenal.
I am excited for this one. I'm a fan of both of these ladies, Utami being my personal favorite. active female right now. So this one's going to be awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then fifth match of the evening for the high-speed championship, it's Izumi taking on Hikari Shimizu. Again, I'm not familiar with Hikari Shimizu. I'm pretty sure she just returned from excursion, and I'm pretty sure she was over in Mexico. She's talking about the winds of Mexico. So, yeah. But always look forward to a high-speed. Yeah, always look forward to high-speed, yeah.
Oh, high-speed is always good.
And the match that I'm even more looking forward to now, it's Prominence taking on Oedo Tai for the Artist of Stardom Championships in a 6-woman hardcore tag team match. Yes, let's go let's be prominent, baby.
This is the match where we are most likely going to see these girls' faces covered in blood instead of paint from their last match. I look forward to seeing Suzuki kick Starlight Kid's head off. Not against Starlight Kid. I actually am a huge fan of hers and Oedo Tai in general. But you got the deathmatch specialists in these 3 women specifically. And these women, they're not even specialists from facing other women. They faced other hardcore men. They're not people you want to take lightly. They need to be a lot more afraid because those pretty faces are going to wreck their day.
Yeah. And into the top 3 matches of the evening, it's Meltier defending their Goddess of Stardom Championship against 7-Up's Nane, Takahashi, and Yu. This is going to be crazy. I feel like the champions are the underdogs going into this. It's kind of hard not to think that.
I agree. I'm just giggling at that. Like, that is the happiest I think I've seen Yu look in any of her pictures or in the ring or anything. And it's contagious. It makes me want to smile.
Yeah. And then your semi-main event of the evening, it's Saya Kamitani taking on Haruka Umesaki for the Wonder of Stardom Championship. Again, I'm not super familiar with Haruka Umesaki. I don't know if you are, but yeah. But again, it's Saya Kamitani. I'm expecting a great match. She's always putting on absolutely wonderful matches.
100%.
And then your main event of the evening, it's my girl Giulia taking on Syuri for the World of Stardom Championship. Let's go, Giulia. Donna Del Mundo forever. Come on. Giulia needs this title.
And this is a feud that has been boiling and starting, since the spring of this year. It's very nice to see it kind of culminating at the end of the year and that they've had such a great time and ability to build it and that they have. I mean, look at the tension that we've been talking about the last few shows with them. I think this is going to be great.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely going to be an incredible main event. But from there, we want to.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
From here, we want to say some thank yous before we go anywhere. I want to thank OLE up at the top right corner there. Our logo starter, thank you for being partnering up with us and working with us on Twitch and everything else we're doing. You can catch me over there on Marvel Talk in January. I'll be doing more of that with our good buddy OLED. And you can catch them on Twitch at Our Local Establishment and on Instagram at OLE Podcasts. And on Twitch at something that I don't remember because Mel will write that in the description below. And
those links will all be in the description box.
Big shout out to our boy Mike the Ref. Gave us a big shout out on his stream last night. We were talking when I was in there talking to him. Always simulcasting all of our stuff a few days later. I really appreciate it. If you're watching us on or if you're not watching us on our channel, please check him out on Backbreaker Video. Also on Twitch at twitch.tv/Mike the Ref. And if you're checking us out on Backbreaker Video, you can check us out right here at Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk on YouTube and also on Facebook.
And Andre, if we're wanting to follow you on social media, where can we find you?
At That Canada Guy on Twitter, at That Canada Dude on Instagram, at That Canada Guy on other stuff, but I'm not posting anywhere yet because I haven't completely switched yet. So, yeah.
Social media is confusing right now. When we figure it out, we'll let you know. If you're wanting to follow this Melball on Twitter, you can follow me at Collins Melball. And on Instagram and Facebook, you can find me at Melball Collins. What else? I think that's it. I think we've come to the end of our review. We have to shout out the beautiful and talented Astrid Pizarro, who I do the Ladies Wrestling Showcase with every second Friday. That being said, Andre, I am your Melball. That is the Andre. We will see you next time. Adios.